Good morning. It is day 4, which is our rest day. We add in a rest day every year because, well, we need a rest, but I don't just mean physical rest, we mean emotional rest, social rest. Last year it rained on our rest day, so we just had a little wander around the town of Lynton, did our own thing for a while. But this year the weather is so beautiful. I didn't really feel like sitting around doing nothing, even though I'm quite tired. So I thought I'd go for a shorter walk, and because we have the hire car this year, I had the flexibility to travel a bit. And there was this one beach that I really regretted that we didn't get to go to last year. So I've driven about 40 minutes to near Lynton to Woody Bay, and I'm going to visit Woody Bay Beach, which I've been dreaming about since this time last year. My path started on a quiet road with little glimpses of the sea down between the trees. So the reason that we didn't get to go to Woody Bay Beach last year is partly because it's a long, steep descent down off the South Coast Path and obviously back up again, which we did quite a lot of last year, and we didn't really feel like we needed to add any more of that into our trip. But also the tides were wrong, so it's a beach that only appears at low tide, and last year the tide was sort of coming in, and high tide in the middle of the day and low tide in the mornings and evenings, and it's kind of the opposite this year. So the tide is going to be at its lowest about 1 o'clock today, which is perfect for going down to this beach, and I'm hoping to find the remains of a Victorian tidal pool. I soon passed the Southwest Coast Path, recognising a silly sign we'd seen last year. Then I left the road to continue on a track through the woods that give Woody Bay its name. The water was a beautiful, enticing turquoise, and I could hardly wait to get down to sea level and discover the beach. I've read that there were plans to turn Woody Bay into a seaside resort in the 1800s, but the landowner ran out of money and it was left unfinished. Now all that remains here is a little cottage which can be rented for holidays, a jetty, and, I was hoping, a tidal swimming pool. I made my way down over the cobbles and onto a small rocky beach. At first glance, I couldn't see any sign of the fabled pool. There was a little cascading waterfall down the cliffs, and after a scramble over the rocks, I found what I'd come searching for. You could almost mistake this for a natural pool, but once you get closer you can see there are steps carved into the rock. It's so sympathetic with the surroundings, I guess because it's been left somewhat to nature and never did become that luxury seaside resort. Obviously, I had to get in. The pool isn't massive, but big enough for a few strokes and too deep for me to stand at the far end. I had a long, delicious swim with the pool to myself, listening to the sound of the sea and staring up at the towering woody cliffs above me. Wow, that was amazing. It's going to go down as one of the most memorable swims I've ever had. There are a few people who've come down to the beach now just as I was getting ready to leave. A couple of people started arriving, but the whole time I was in the water and then resting, having my lunch afterwards, getting dry. I had the whole place to myself. It was absolutely perfect. From up here you can just see the tidal pool, just there. Of course, there was only one way this little adventure could end, with a long, steep walk back up to the top of the cliffs. Still, it's a good way to warm up after a cold swim. I took a slightly different route back, steeper and not on the road but through lush woodlands that brought back happy memories of our walk last year. And before long, I was back at the car, ready to head home and tell Kat and Rupert all about my adventure. Thanks for watching our Southwest Coast Path adventures. You can find the next video in the series over on Kat's channel by following the link on screen or in the description box below. We also have a Ko-fi page if you want to leave a donation towards our adventures next year. Thanks for watching.